Cabin 13 Productions.
This entire episode so far. For 11 minutes, you're in your prime. You're in your prime.
Shut up! I'm 25.
Exactly, you're in your prime.
My
dude. You're
knees
at quarter
crack
life.
every time I stand up. But I forgot. I wanted to show you this, and I haven't yet.
God, it's so bad. I hurt my toe 5 days ago, and I can still barely walk. For someone who's never ridden a horse, I shed a lot of fucking tears for a fake horse. You know?
I'm such a loser, sweating God, I'm the worst.
Welcome back to the Woodsmen podcast. We're your hosts, Joey Rucker
And Brent Murphy.
And it looks like we're still good.
We're back. And we're better.
It doesn't seem like we're going to go off for months at a time again. It seems like the system is working.
We did promise someone today that we would record on time again weekly. And so far
we're trying.
So yeah. It's great.
For those of you who didn't see our last episode was our first episode of using our new setup with being remote and utilizing Riverside. We didn't really know how it was going to go, and we definitely went through some heaps and hurdles in the live session, but I think it worked out pretty well.
Like me definitely being on someone else's Wi-Fi on accident, and then my video just disappeared in the middle of talking. That was
but
fun.
It's fine. It's fine. It all worked out. And honestly, editing, I don't know about you, but for me, video side of things, editing went very smooth.
Editing was a lot easier. Took a little time because we had to make some tweaks from being together, but
yeah,
it was a lot easier to edit when we aren't together, because then you don't randomly hear our voices in each other's mics.
That's true. That is very true.
So that was nice.
Bit of a nice piece of it.
Well, it's been, this isn't on our housekeeping, but I thought I'd bring up the fact that it's been pretty much triple digits all week for us here in California.
Oh, yeah. And heat level? Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's been ridiculous. Every time I go out to the car after work, I walk in and my back melts to the to the seat.
Dude, I was talking to our coworker today, and I dead ass said I have such a bad case of swamp ass already that I just need to buy a stick of deodorant specifically to rub through my ass crack. Cause the amount of sweat that is dripping is just horrifying. It is horrifying.
Yeah.
But I guess it's supposed to go down next week. I will believe it when I see it. I don't even think we're in spring yet, so this is terrible. New York is snowing.
Oh no, that was yesterday. Never mind. Right? Yesterday was. Sorry, I'm thinking in my head, not here.
Oh,
but
okay.
Are we just passed St.
Patrick's Day? Yes. Oh my God. This time last year we had the Leprechaun episode, which is such a fun one. That was a really fun one.
Which I totally remember all the things we learned.
Yeah. Yeah. Same.
We should.
I remember some of the stories. I remember the girl. The castle one. They visited that castle and found the leprechaun bones.
Yeah.
Even though when we did our research, that story, I don't think exists at all. I don't think it exists at all.
Weren't leprechauns some kind of, in certain findings, thought to be a different kind of entity or monster or fit into? Maybe I think we kind of compared them to duendes and gnomes. You know what? That's probably what it was.
I'm pretty sure.
Duendes. I forgot about duendes.
Man.
That's probably the whitest way you say it. Duendes.
Duendes. My favorite. Man. We've done so many already.
Steal your keys. I know. We've talked about a lot of different lores.
My favorite, probably Jeff the Mongoose.
Jeff the Mongoose is a good one.
That was a really good one because then we ended up finding that movie that actually was pretty good.
Not bad.
It was actually a pretty good movie.
Christopher Lloyd in it?
Yeah, like the cast was actually kind of stacked, and I was very surprised. But yeah, that was.
I also liked. I think it was what's it called? The death one. The
near-death experience.
The near-death experience. Some of the stories we went over.
Yeah, wasn't
on
that
one? There was
that was
one
our
where
first
a lady was
two-parter, right?
I think so.
I mean, I know we did
am I
an
thinking
education
of the right one
episode
where it was like somebody was in a hospital bed and was kind of seeing themselves or something from outside their body?
Yes.
I think that was that one. I liked that story.
God, I've heard so many near-death experience stories. I don't even remember which ones we covered. So
yeah.
Anyways, without taking up too much time, we are glad to be back. We are going to keep trying to be back every week. That's the goal.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. What the fuck was that? Why did I do this? Like, I did
We're hoping.
I did that, like, oh, God, is it Gen Z? The clock it.
Oh, dude, this shit.
Clock it.
God. I find myself unironically now doing 6-7 anytime I hear 6-7, and it pisses me off.
It pisses me off because I don't, but anytime someone says 6-7, I just like,
you kind of,
it's
bug out.
Yeah, not a fan. I don't even know what the hell that's supposed to mean. To this day, I really don't know what it is.
I think it's a mix of like so, and it was in.
But why 6-7?
I think it was in a song, but I don't know whose song it was. I don't follow the guy.
I'm all right. I don't even want to know because then I'm gonna have to. When someone says what I just said, they're like, I don't even know where that comes from. Unfortunately, then I'm gonna know, and I'm gonna have to be that guy that tells them. Yeah, not about that. Well. This is our comedy week of the month.
We laugh week.
We laugh. We laugh, we cry, we scream, we die
get a little bit
inside.
Unserious, not so doom and gloom. Now we actually just kind of pick apart a random topic that makes us chuckle.
So I feel like you gotta tell everyone what this one is. Because it's going to be a good one because I know we're probably going to disagree on some things.
Sure, definitely.
And I feel like those are the best ones. I think the last time we disagreed, it was Cheese Boy McGee, wasn't it?
I don't think we disagreed.
I just think you made fun of me.
I was just so baffled that an episode about the 411 missing children cases turned into just a half hour of me tackling the fact that I smelled like cheese. It was on that episode that I spent $90 live on cologne.
Well, no, what's crazy, chat, is that after that episode, I don't think Joey's ever smelled like cheese ever again. I think I bullied him into just not smelling like cheese, and I didn't even mean to bully him. Which
I think is a respectable friendship. I think that friends are meant to bully each other out of their worst habits. And if I was smelling like cheese, something needed to change.
Like the amount of times I've been bullied for having SpongeBob teeth, I'm literally getting Invisaligns to close those, to literally close the gap. You know, I'm not gonna have the London look. Maybe it's Maybelline.
Isn't it?
I'm not gonna have that anymore. So it's gonna be
which
great.
is funny because I never even hated your SpongeBob teeth. I just used it because I was
have my whole
insecure
life
about my own body.
You're like, fuck, I gotta find one for this guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Motherfucking SpongeBob teeth, bitch. Motherfucking SpongeBob teeth.
Well, yeah. So,
Yeah. So
we,
Red Dead and GTA. Yeah.
Today's
That's
episode,
it.
we are talking about. Well, we're going to compare and contrast two games that we have. I'm sure I can think of multiple instances that we've talked about these two games a long time
So many
on this
times.
channel. On our series of Woodsmen. I'm pretty sure we had an episode, one of our early ones, back in the original Garage episodes. I think we had like the best video games or something. We talked about a bunch of games in like one episode.
Didn't we also? I'm pretty sure we had a Chillcast episode too. Life sucks, but games rule. Was that?
Yeah.
Was that what it was? Yeah. And I'm pretty sure, went off on a tangent about one of the two for sure. But I'm pretty sure it was that one. Life sucks, but games rule. And if it's not, I have no idea what I'm talking about then.
I'm sure. I'm gonna see if I can find it. But yeah, so we've talked about these games, specifically Red Dead Redemption 2 and GTA 5, many times in our time podcasting, because they are, in fact, two games that have meant the world to us and have been big parts of our lives growing up.
They quite literally have changed our lives. Not to speak for you, but
absolutely.
I'm pretty sure they have changed the course of the way I live. Just
Life
a little
Sucks, but
bit.
Games Rule was actually just a full episode. That was one of those Garage episodes.
Oh, really? Was it not a Chillcast?
No, that was the first.
Really?
Like, that's literally episode 3 of Woodsman. Life Sucks, but Games Rule.
Oh, that's crazy.
I feel like we did have a Chillcast though, where we talked about games, but I'm trying to find it and I'm like struggling. That's weird.
Oh, you know what? I think that might have been the cartoons episode, and then we just ended up going off on a game tangent.
That makes sense.
I mean, we've pretty much had a tangent this entire episode so far. For 11 minutes, Joey's TV.
You guys want to watch cable?
Was possessed. Oh, that's great. Well, anyways, it's gonna be a good episode. I am very excited to dive in on this. I am kind of excited to see what we differ on, like differences of opinion, because I know we have had some before with these two specifically. So I am kind of excited to see.
Yeah, these two video games in particular are obviously very similar, as they are both made by Rockstar. They both they're basically the same gameplay style in their base functionality. So I'm sure we're gonna have a lot of things to compare. I think this is going to be a perfect episode because I do think that each one of us slightly loves
one more than the other,
but that's a tough and we'll get into why as we get into the main episode.
Yeah. Well, I mean, without further ado, I think it's time to get started. All right, my man. Before we get things started, I gotta ask, which one do you prefer?
Oh, man. See, that is such a loaded question.
Like, think of if you're stranded on a deserted island and you only get, think of it as that scenario. Which one are you going to the deserted island with?
But that's the reason that is a tough call, is because of one very particular problem. If I'm stranded on an island and I can only have one option, are you talking more about multiplayer or story mode?
Well, we're going to get into that.
Or do I have to talk, do I have to wrap it all up into one?
You get both. You get story mode and online, but you only get for one game.
That makes it so much harder to choose, dude. Because
we do have that on our outline. We do have a story mode versus online mode, but before we start, you got to choose one. You get both. You get the online and story. But which one are you choosing game-wise? Because you can only have one game.
Oh, my God. Oh man,
On
in
on
this
three.
in
On
in this
three, you
hypothetical,
gotta decide.
I can't even put bound
3,
like
2, 1, go.
GTA. Fuck.
That's
Fuck.
crazy.
I
That's
don't feel
so
good about it.
crazy.
I don't feel good about it though. It doesn't make me
Well, if
happy.
you could tell from my disappointment, I am Red Dead all the way.
I don't
Let's
like my answer.
talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
No. We got a topic before we go off on our tangent on why Red Dead is better than GTA, and we're talking about GTA 5, by the way.
Yeah, there's a lot.
We're not
of
talking
GTAs.
franchise. Yeah, we're not talking franchise. No. We're going GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2 specifically.
Yeah, so that's not including any of the previous GTA franchise.
Yeah. It's not like Vice
not
City or any
Red
of
Dead
that.
Redemption 1
or Red Dead Revolver.
or Red Dead Revolver. We're
If
just
someone
comparing the
wants
two games
only
today.
Red Dead Revolver is the game that they play on a deserted island, I don't know who would want that, but yeah. So 5 and 2.
I'm honestly so angry right now because of your question, because I don't like it. I don't like that choice.
You don't like it that was your answer. That's what it is.
I don't.
You don't like that you're that guy.
But okay, the problem is that they're two such drastically different games, and like I don't know how to back myself up here. I don't know how to like hype myself up because I know I don't agree with it completely. However, okay, I will say I did have to choose one on the spot, so I have to stick by it.
It's fair.
If I'm gonna stand by it a little bit, I do think GTA, if you're talking about just the game itself as a whole, it is still to this day one of the most, if not the most, other than Minecraft, popular game in the world. Like,
I mean, that's fair. Yeah, that is fair.
Everyone knows the name. Everybody has played the game.
People are still killing me with a flying motorcycle as soon as I join an online session. Like, doesn't matter what time of day, doesn't matter if it's night or day, I'm still spawning in and instantly getting killed. So obviously it's a pretty popular game still.
Yeah. And I think that popularity speaks for a little bit of its, reputation. I think that you wouldn't have a game lasting this long. I mean, I mentioned Minecraft. It's the same kind of situation as Minecraft is. You don't have a game continue to upload updates, to continue to have such a wide fan base, and people are still to this day finding new things about it, or solving mysteries, or adding mods, or all these random things.
Well, yeah. I mean,
if the game
to be fair,
good,
though, to be fair, you do still have people adding mods and everything with Red Dead 2 as well. But I don't think they're as popular as GTA mods, and I mean, there's so much, but. Yeah. Let's before we get into this whole argument, because it's going to be an argument. We're already going off on the differences. Let's take it back and look at the years that both of these games came out. All right.
Okay.
So as of now in 2026, we're in March of 2026. GTA 5 is still the last game in the franchise to come out. We don't have 6 yet. I said 2026 and I was like, wait, did I say GTA 6? No. So GTA 6 is not out yet. It's supposed to be. It's rumored to come out. I'll believe it when I see it, because they've made me wait too long.
Yeah.
GTA
Brent doesn't
5,
believe in GTA 6.
I don't. But it's honestly, you know how you feel when I talk about all of my like Bigfoot stuff and everything? How you just refuse to believe that interdimensional Bigfoot exists?
I was just gonna say
This is how I feel about GTA 6. I don't believe this shit exists, dude. Like,
Everyone who thinks it's gonna come out this year is just
I think
a
they just
conspiracy
keep
theorist.
saying it to keep making people spend money on 5. That is my theory. It's the same with the moon landing. It's just I don't believe it's gonna happen. I'll believe it when I see with my own 2 eyes. Best believe I am going to be pre-ordering it and probably spending a lot of fucking money to get whatever limited edition one there is.
If people thought my Fortnite spending habits were bad, like this is the first, and you know,
this is going to be your first time.
Exactly. This is not
like
to pivot
getting
us
it
off
right when it comes out.
the comparison right off the bat, but this is my first GTA game I will experience at launch, because growing up, I didn't
you
have
say
that.
So that actually transitions perfectly into how crazy this date is.
Okay.
GTA 5 came out to the day on September 17th of 2013.
Damn.
And I bought the game the first week it came out.
No, really?
Which means I was 13 years old and dragged my mom to GameStop and spent like $80 on the game.
That's wild.
And since then, I am 26 years old. That was 13 years ago. That is half of my lifetime living on Earth. I have bought that game 3 more times. A total of 4 times I have bought in this same goddamn game.
What are all the platforms you've had it on?
So 360 twice because someone hacked my account.
Oh.
And I had to buy a whole of it because I had a disc. It wasn't where you could just download games on the actual console. So I had to sit there and buy a whole other disc. So twice on the Xbox 360, once on the PS4, and then once on the PS5. Damn. Yeah.
Didn't it?
That just shows you how much I don't have a life. Like, that's crazy.
Didn't it originally release on PS3, though? If I'm correct?
PS3 and Xbox 360.
Yeah. Oh, I guess same era. So did it release? It was Rockstar doesn't have exclusives. It released on both.
No. It wasn't an exclusive.
It wasn't
Came
a PC
out at the same
game
time.
Yet,
No, not PC. And
Didn't
see,
it
that
do
was
something?
that was the era of console, though. That was the era of console.
True.
Everyone loved
Didn't
console.
it do something similar to what GTA 6 is trying to do now, where like it released the story mode first?
Yeah.
You didn't have multiplayer yet, and then eventually they went out and released multiplayer like later on.
You know, I can't even tell you if that happened, because when I bought the game, I originally played through all of the story mode before I even looked at an online version. So I think by the time I finished the story mode, it was already out, but I don't know how long that was after I finished the story mode. I mean, it could have taken me a long ass time to finish it. I don't even remember. But yeah, 2013.
According to this, multiplayer actually only came out 2 weeks after.
Okay.
So the main story came out. It came out September 17th, 2013, the story mode, and then October 1st, 2013 was when multiplayer was released. GTA Online.
God, that's crazy. Man, I have no life. That's wild. That is wild. So going from there,
sure.
Red Dead 2.
Okay.
2013 for GTA. Red Dead 2 came out 2 days before your birthday. October 26th, 2018.
Oh man, so
2018. 5 years. 5 years after.
We were just like
GTA.
Just leaving high school. Era. Like we were just about to start.
We had just graduated. In June. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I remember very clearly.
I don't remember it being that old. That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah, 2018, man.
It also kind of
Shit's
hurts
crazy.
to think that 2018 feels like a long time ago now.
You know, every
Time is
time I
passing.
think about it, I'm like, oh, like I was 18. That wasn't even that long ago. And I sit here and I'm like, oh, I'm 26 years old. Like 26 years old.
If any
You're
of you are
still- you're in
interested
your
in
prime.
watching
You're in
us
your
talk
prime.
about, oh, shut up! I'm 25.
Exactly. You're in your prime,
My
dude. You're at
knees
quarter
crack
life.
every time I stand up. My elbows crack every time I stretch. It's.
I hurt my toe 5 days ago, and I can still barely walk. So that shows you how great it is getting old,
if you
guys.
guys are
Don't get
interested
old.
in watching us talk for an hour about our existential life crises, go check out the last episode of the Woodsmen podcast.
We're back, baby.
We're back, baby.
Yeah. So October 26th, 2018.
2018. Wow.
It was also initially on console, and then it was released on PC November 5th of 2019. So that one took
That one
longer.
took a little way longer.
I was
way
like, oh.
longer, over a year.
Yeah, over a
No.
year and a month. Yeah.
I'm not completely surprised. The game, though GTA has a lot to it, when it released on Xbox 360 and PS3.
Yeah.
And though it was groundbreaking, it was an older generation of graphics and fidelity and all that stuff.
Yeah.
When Red Dead 2 came out, I mean, it was one of
That
the
was
most
already
peak-
that was PS4, Xbox One.
So I'm not
era,
surprised
yeah,
that
yeah.
online took as long as it did to come out, because it's taking
Not
a crazy
online,
ass
not
map.
online, PC,
Not online.
the PC release.
Oh,
yeah,
PC.
release. Yeah.
Oh, I wonder how
'Cause-
long it took PC to come out
'cause
on.
Red Dead Online was in beta, I think, when the game came out, because I was a beta tester for online. And let me tell you, beta sucked ass, bro. like Red Dead Online was terrible in beta because that shit would crash like every 10 minutes. You get a good solid oh, it hasn't crashed yet. That's crazy. And you would hit 10 to 15 minutes and the entire game would just and just completely kick you out of the entire game. Even if it was on disc, still would kick you out of the entire game. Yeah, it was a lot. But the map, I feel, is way more in depth and way more intense as far
has
as
a lot
NPC, animals, all that kind of stuff. I mean, trying to run that at that time, 2018, it was still pretty new for sure. But yeah, 2018.
By the way, I found that GTA 5 came out for PC April 14th, 2015. So it actually did also similar to Red Dead. It took
About
longer.
a
It
year,
took
yeah.
almost 2 years.
Oh
But
shit!
it did,
Right.
It did, but it makes more sense that they kind of lined up more with its PC release compared to game release, and then obviously
Yeah.
GTA, though, I mean, when it's gone through different stages as well. It's gone through the stage of coming to PC, sure, but it also has the generation swap of it coming from Xbox 360, PS3 to PlayStation 5, Xbox One. That I remember watching a video recently about how GTA, the graphics alone in just that initial change was one of the biggest graphical updates for a game that already existed.
Oh yeah.
Ever.
100%. Yeah, and then once you had the shift for PC, but then after PC kind of really started getting popular for gaming, I mean, people, they were playing PC games for sure, but I don't think anything had a move like GTA did and all of these other...
From console to console?
Yeah, and then you go from PS4 to PS5, and then they're like, hey, we're doing a whole overhaul just for this console, not even for a shift on PC. Like, this is from console to console, massive overhaul on textures, massive overhaul on shading, massive overhaul on gameplay overall. wild. Like when you go and play it from
think-
Xbox 360 to PS5, you're like, oh my God, it's a
yeah.
completely different game. Like it's a completely
PS5
different
was
game.
probably the first time that I noticed a console as having the capability to run along the same graphical can run on the same graphical level
graphics
as
are
PC.
There, yeah. The
PS4
graphics
was
are there.
good, but PS5 was the first time where I was like, oh, this actually, console still has like a running in this race.
Yeah. And I mean, you even had people at Microsoft even say all the Xboxes now are really kind of more for like a lifestyle. If you want a console for like strictly a gaming perspective, even they were saying the PS5 is, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just there. It's just there. It competes with computer and everything, which is just so fascinating for people like us who literally work in like tech and everything. It is crazy to think that a $500 console is running graphics that compete with like a $3,000 gaming PC. Like, yeah, you're not getting the mods or anything. So, I mean, yeah, you don't have that.
That's
but,
why it was such a big
I mean,
deal.
the fact that you have
to spend
that.
so much money to get a PC to be on its top tier level that everybody talks about, and not everybody can run that kind of or spend that kind of money to have that kind of equipment. PS5 is one of those, examples. I don't know much about the Xbox One. Maybe it does have some.
I don't either. I know that people said it's very user friendly for a lifestyle console. That's like everything I've kind of heard about it. I know Ashley has an Xbox One.
I don't mean to interrupt you,
but
I forgot. I wanted to show you this, and I haven't yet.
God, it's so bad. It looks exactly like the Xbox 360 controller did, and I hate it. I absolutely hate for our audio listeners. Joey, when he got his Xbox 360, he was so lazy that he didn't want to use the analog stick to type in anything that required typing. So this fool went and bought the equivalent to a slider flip phone keyboard that attached to the controller. And then instead of taking it off when he played games, he just would keep it on. Well, the problem is you can't even wrap your fingers around the goddamn controller. And you want to know what this fool did? He went and bought the same goddamn thing for his PS5 controller. And it pisses me off. It makes me so angry, bro.
For my whole life, I will die on this hill. It is not that big of a deal as much as Brent likes to make it seem.
I played on that Xbox 360 controller. I know what it feels like. And it's horrible.
Typing on with
you're sitting there and typing while you're playing.
Yes, because if I'm on Minecraft and I want to write a sign, I don't want to have to sit there.
Yeah, that's why you just plug it back in. It's not like it takes a whole bunch of time. Like you have its Bluetooth connected.
No,
you just plug it in.
Your argument for the fact that you can't wrap your fingers around it is so dumb to me because it still is a curved.
What the fuck do you mean?
Okay, for our audio listeners, I will try and describe this as best I can, but on a controller, the thing Brent's talking about, for our visual listeners or visual people on YouTube, you can see it. Brent's talking about the grip on a controller, how there's the two things that protrude out of the main body of the controller. You can wrap your fingers around
it. Yeah.
When you have the keyboard on, no,
you can't wrap your fingers around it.
It's still grooved so that you can still wrap your fingers around it. You may not be able to make the full 360 fucking degrees.
Okay, so for our visual listeners, then, did you see how fast Joey was able to just snap that on? Did you guys see that? Because bro snapped it on in less than 2 seconds, and yet he's sitting here still playing games with it connected.
I will have you know.
You just proved my point while trying to prove your point.
My point is still that it's not so bad that you have to disconnect it.
Yeah, okay. So
We're never going to see
anyways,
eye to eye on this. We're not even supposed
we
to.
aren't even on our first topic
Yeah.
of this episode. So before I shit on you some more about your dumb theories on a slider flip phone keyboard on a controller, whatever. Let's go into the story mode script writing. Let's just
Yes. We're talking
let's
the
just
writing
see-
for story mode specifically, right?
yes, yeah. So I'm gonna let you go first with GTA. What do you think about the writing? Obviously, the gameplay's fun. I love the missions. The missions are cool. They've always been cool with like any of the GTA games. Like they're just unique. They're unique levels. But there's only so much that the levels can get you when it comes to the writing. So how do you feel about the writing for GTA 5?
For GTA 5, I think that there is... I will say right off the bat, just because we will have to get into this eventually, I don't personally think the writing of GTA 5 is as good as the writing of Red Dead Redemption. However,
Yeah.
that said, I do think that there is a much more unique story that hadn't really been done before, at least from my knowledge, that GTA 5 did pull off, which was like, and maybe you could correct me because I didn't play any. I've literally, by the way, for our fans, I have not played a single other GTA game. So I'm also probably not the best spokesperson for the franchise. But
Yeah.
from my knowledge, you didn't have a GTA game where you could play the story mode with multiple characters at once and have your choices with having multiple characters you play as affect the outcome at the end of the game. You always have like your main story, protagonist that most games have. But GTA was one of those first ones where it's like, oh, I'm starting as what's it? Oh shit.
As Franklin.
No.
You start with the heist that went wrong.
Well, yes, you start with
in
the
North
heist with
Yankton
Michael and
yeah.
Trevor
Yeah.
and whatever his name was. The guy who died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only...
I'm still not painting
Yeah.
a great photo for all the GTA 5 fans. There's probably people in the comments like, bro, what the fuck? You're not
Well,
fake fan.
for what Joey's trying to say, yeah, you start with one guy.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the cold open for the whole... I almost said the whole movie. The whole game. Because the cutscenes are great. But you start that out. That's the whole cold open. And then you just get bounced into Franklin stealing a
This
car.
story with Franklin
with
stealing
Lamar.
a car with Lamar. And
Yeah.
you end up taking the cars to Simeon's auto shop.
Yeah.
And then eventually the stories start to intertwine when you steal a car from Michael's family as Franklin. And then Michael kind of comes up and reveals that, he's still alive. He still isn't just this old dude who doesn't know any tricks. He's like,
and especially because you do play as Franklin for a while, you don't even realize. You're kind of just like, okay, that was a weird, opening to the game. And then once you realize, like, oh shit, you're stealing that guy's car.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, that's crazy. And then, we don't have to explain the whole game, but
but the reason
that's
I wanted
a perfect
to bring
setup for a good 3-character story. I mean, it is essentially
the third character being
story.
Trevor, who comes in later after you complete more missions with Michael, and Trevor realizes on TV that Michael, his old partner from the first cutscene, is still alive, and that
while
draws him
Trevor's
to
poor
Los
shit
Santos.
living in a trailer, and Michael's some I mean, essentially some LA snob,
Yeah.
you know, living his best life in a mansion. Yeah.
If we're going to talk about writing, I want to start by saying I do think GTA did so well at making me not bored with either any of the three separate stories. I was engaged with each individual storyline, what was going on with, you know, Trevor and the wackadoos that he was hanging out with in his stories. Michael's family had a lot of great moments of like Michael wanting to be a better father, but also like not knowing how the hell to even do that because it's just not him at times. And I think GTA, my first big selling point is that it was able to captivate everyone day one of launch with this story of three separate main characters
who are all very vastly different too. There's no, oh, you have three characters, but they're pretty much the same type of person. Mm-hmm. They still have their own, you know, I mean, they just all have their own personalities. They have their own story. They have their own like reasons for doing what they're doing, and they're all completely different reasons.
Well, my second point is that each one of those individual stories is so realistic to their own story,
to who they are as characters. Yeah,
I totally believe every emotion that Franklin has. I totally believe every emotion that Trevor has. Like, he's so angry all the time, but it's so justified because he was hurt, he was wronged, like, you know, by Michael.
He was wronged. He also thought Michael was dead.
He thought Michael was dead. His best friend in crime faked his own death and ran away with all the money. You know, like, it's such a crazy, like, when you think about how all the stories finally come back together, it's also, like, to me, realistic as, you know, guys, how quickly, even though Trevor was still batshit crazy and angry all the time, how quickly he was just like, all right, we have a job to do. Let's fucking get it done, Michael. Come on, Michael. We got to go do this. Like, it was so realistic to me.
Right back into it. It didn't matter how pissed off or angry he could have been. It just automatically.
So each one of their stories, I was super invested, and I had no trouble like putting my own like emotional investment into each one of their character arcs and, you know, story progressions. So I think that's, as far as writing goes, I think that's one of GTA's best selling points.
Yeah,
I don't want to give you a lot of ammo, but I do think it was probably the blueprints for what Red Dead Redemption did better. But
yeah, I mean,
to an extent.
It definitely paved a way for what a story could be for a video game, because I don't think we ever really had a video game that was very involved with cutscenes as well. It was a very cutscene oriented. I mean, a lot of gameplay, a lot of different type of missions, and a different outcome ultimately. But it definitely paved that way. The one thing that I do think GTA had on Red Dead that was better was the fact that you're getting multiple people's stories from their point of views versus like you're kind of having to guess in Red Dead, like where people are coming from. Like someone who I would have loved to play as would have been Dutch, because I wanted to know what was going on in his head and what was being said to him to completely take him as a father figure to someone who ultimately gets Arthur killed. Like that's something that I thought, like, if you could have had like a character switch option, that would have been the character. Because I mean, no one else really, I mean, there were characters I loved. I mean, it was an emotional game. Like, I mean, I definitely cried at the end of the game. there were certain side missions towards the end that really like fucked me up, you know, just dialogue wise. But to be able to see the ultimate person who really destroyed everything, to see their point of view and to see, like, you know, what was going on behind the scenes, that's something that I think GTA had to step up on, because you got everybody's opinion and you got everybody's emotion and you understood exactly what was going on, even though you could switch to a different character and at that time, that character doesn't know anything, you know, but you know, in the back of your head, you're like, oh, that makes sense, because I wouldn't have known that if I wouldn't have played this side mission with this character. And, you know, so I thought that was a really good thing. Story writing wise, Red Dead was a movie. I mean, I don't know if you can agree. Red Dead was a playable movie.
Yeah, I agree. Hands down.
I was just as invested in the story as I was with being a cowboy. like I was so invested, and I will never forget it. I would never forget it, because again, 2018 October, we had, you know, November, December, and then January you went to school, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, again, shout out to We're Back Baby if you want to listen to Growing Up, because this is Growing Up. This was a pivotal. I don't know about you, but I can say that GTA was a very Red Dead was a very pivotal game, that where I played it for the first time in my life, I think it affected me more because of like when it came out and where I was like as a person, like at that point in time. Because I remember I was, not to get sad, but I felt pretty alone. All my friends went to college. I stayed home. You know, I was playing music, and I mean, that was cool. But, you know, the people I hung out with probably like 6 days a week, every single week, you know, had left to college. So it was a very like, damn, dude, like, I don't really have anything else to do. Like, if I'm not playing music, I'm just chilling, you know? And I remember sitting in the living room at the time. That's when the PS4 was in the living room, and we were playing till like 4 a.m. almost every night, you know? And because that was the only time I could play, is when everybody went to bed, since it was in the living room. But I remember when we weren't playing games together, it was like, all right, I'm gonna play Red Dead. And I just remember, like, I mean, you can never get back the first time you play it.
Oh,
you know, you can never get it back. And
was the
and
first
I remember,
time you played the time you told me about how you would be playing it in the living room, and your mom would come out and just kind of casually see you playing it, and then eventually it turned into like your mom would just literally sit and purposefully watch you play it because of how
she was like
invested in the story.
What is going on? Yeah, dude. It was such a crazy time, and I remember that was honestly a bonding moment for me and my mom as well, because it was one of those, like, now you can see why I love playing these games, you know, like you only get that special feeling with, I feel like a very few amount of games in your life, you're going to get that special feeling.
That exact emotion that you had with your mom, I wish I could have with my parents, because my parents know I love games and I love story games that have like cinematic perspectives to them, compared to just being like, you know, Pac-Man type of, you know, goal
oriented type. Yeah.
But I don't think they appreciate like
the
how
level of detail that goes into some of these games. I remember we both played separately What Remains of Edith Finch. That one, it was only like a 2-hour gameplay. That was a great story.
Amazing story.
That was such a great story. And Detroit Become Human. My God, that game, especially now, like where we're at now, 2026, in the age of like AI and the age of like all of this like potential robots really coming into fruition, you know, to play a game like that and then feeling bad, like you're like, damn, I feel for this robot, like, you know, and especially with that one, because it's all choice based, and it really is, that one essentially really is just kind of a movie that you just you know, at certain points you have to press a certain button to make a choice, you know. But games like that, I mean, like the level of detail, the level of just like every little thing that goes into it, is something to be appreciated. And I wish more people our age, like those people's parents, could see the reason why people like us get so wrapped up. You know, it has nothing to do with like, oh, you're just wasting your life away playing, you know, what, Black Ops 2, you know, like spending 8 hours just on Nuketown and just fucking it up. You know, some of these games are life-changing. I mean, they're life-changing games, and I think Red Dead was such a life-change. It's such an impactful game for anybody. I mean, even for my mom. My mom was there when Arthur died, and I was high-level honor, and we both sat there first time playing through the game not knowing that Arthur was actually going to die. And it was like,
oh man,
did you, huh? You know, like
first
it was
time you
something
play, you cry?
Oh, dude, I bawled like a fucking child, dude. And I played so many, like, I don't think I was playing a lot of the side missions before Arthur really got sick. I think it was after Tahiti, he came back and he was just like visibly looked sick. I started doing all of the stuff around like Saint Denis, did all the stuff around like Valentine, all the main like towns and everything. And I will never forget the one he has with the nun, and they're sitting there at the train station, and she pretty much like hit him with like, you know, like you can be honest with me, you know, like you're a good man. And he looks away, like, dude, it's emotional. Like I'm already thinking about it. I'm like, fuck. He looks away and he's just like, you know, I'm just afraid, you know. And I was like, oh man, that shit hurted. You know, it's
a
I couldn't
beautiful
imagine
moment for adult men too. I think personally, I think that's another reason why it affects us on such an emotional level, especially that scene, because it's been so culturally normal for us to put away our feelings, to not admit that we're afraid. And so to see like a grown man who kind of has come to terms with the fact that he's gonna die, just admit he's afraid, like finally just say it out loud. That's a moment no man
and to really just
having
and to
do.
say it to a stranger too, because I mean it's not like he said it to someone in the game.
It's not a trusted individual. It's not somebody he loves. It's
and not only that, but watched so many of his real. I would say there were some people in the gang who maybe weren't Arthur's friend necessarily, but there were a lot that were. Seeing Lenny die, fucking tragic. Hosea dying, who literally was pretty much like a dad to him.
I've
you
said
know,
this on
seeing
the pod
all this
before,
stuff.
but Lenny's death was so way faster than it had needed to be.
I needed to be
drawn out.
We had more sadness. We had more buildup for Kieran dying than we did Lenny, and I loved Kieran. But goddamn, how you get Lenny was my favorite dude, bro. Him and Charles are like my favorite like people who weren't Arthur, and the fact that he just died in that was it,
because it was like in the the escaping of the bank, right? And then on the rooftop, he gets shot.
He gets shot and he just falls off, and that was it. You're like no one.
It was like I think I paused the game. I think I literally paused it, and I was
didn't even realize like did they really just. Did it really just fucking kill Lenny,
you're
bro?
still in
like,
the running
what?
scene. You're still like, the game expects you to just go on, and you're like,
and you just watch him die out of the corner of the screen, and you're like, what the hell? Like, what?
Do you think, though, that is emotionally impactful more for those who did play the side missions up until that point?
Oh,
because I don't remember how many side missions. Actually,
I think there was only one real mission that you were with Lenny the entire time, and I think that was the bar one. I think that, but I don't think that was a side mission. I think that was a actual
full mission.
Like a main mission when they were at Horseshoe Overlook. But I completely agree with you on the being a man part, and really kind of getting it ingrained. I feel good about where we're at now culturally, because I think it's becoming a lot more acceptable for men to admit, like, yeah, I have a problem, or like, yeah, I don't feel good, emotionally and mentally. We're coming in an age now where it's like very acceptable for that to happen. I think we hit like maybe the tail end of where it's kind of, I think parents are a little bit more understanding, but I think we still grew up in like households where it's kind of like, it's not that serious, taking mental health as serious as it is now. I think a lot of people just see that there's more of a problem with mental health, and it's finally getting addressed. But to be in that middle ground and then playing a game like that, it's hard. It's hard to see a grown man, especially when you think of the era they're in. Wild West. I mean, these fools are like the toughest fools you're gonna meet. And to see a man get completely broken down and accepting their fate, and they're like, yeah, this is it. This is my life. I'm not coming back from this one. Yeah. And having the ultimate choice to have an honorable death, or having one where you're just going back to your roots at the very beginning and you didn't grow as a person. The game gives you the option to grow as a character, and I think that's what made it very great. I think there's really only one choice-driven mission in GTA, and I think that's the last one, where you can either choose to kill, as Franklin, you either choose to kill
It's the only one
Michael,
that
or
builds upon your choice as the character's emotion, whereas Red Dead has many instances where you kind of can choose how you want to emotionally act as your character and how that will affect you towards the end.
Well, and even in side missions too, it's not even, a main story mission. Everything you do is a very choice-based action.
Yeah, as much as I don't want to admit it, GTA story missions are such a fucking joke. I mean, in the long run,
the game itself is kind of a fucking joke. I mean,
sure,
it's a comedic game. Like it is a comedic game. It's a game based on comedy. Red Dead is a game based on, well, not to sound cheesy, but based on redemption. That is really what the game is based on. You start out as a hard-ass individual, and you either choose to grow or you either choose to remain that person, And some people enjoy the bad alternate endings, Some people really enjoy it. Some people think that's more true to the character.
Point.
But
I think the point is that
there is no right or wrong way to play the game.
Exactly. We think it's profound how if you do the good character route of Arthur Morgan, that you can end with such a beautiful sunset as you pass away, like you did all you could do, now it's time to finally stop fighting. But I feel like many people could argue that, like, depending on how your character was, like, I know there's an alternate ending where you end up going back to camp and everything's burning down and you end up fighting, what's his name?
Micah.
Yeah. Micah. And then you have the moment where Dutch, it's a similar moment where Dutch kind of has to choose whether you're the rat or Micah's the rat, but it's a much more clear Dutch is only in it for the joy of the game because of the choices you made throughout the story. It's but people can see that as like profound because you chose to live your life as an outlaw the way you chose to live it. It's not always.
Yeah, you have the options. You have the options to be what. I mean, even with your horse too. Oh, I mean, man. You can either choose to let your horse go,
as a grown man again. Another moment.
Or the horse dying,
they could do that.
Like,
I didn't think that was allowed. I remember
for someone who has never,
that's not allowed. You can't.
For someone who's never ridden a horse, I shed a lot of fucking tears for a fake horse.
Well, the
that's
game
crazy.
As a game, even if you're not even like considering some of the story implications, as a gameplay, they set it up in such a perfect way to make the player subtly fall in love with the horse too, because you obviously, if you're a gamer, you want to upgrade your horse or whatever you're riding to get around to be the best level it can be, right? So in order to do that, they have game implementations that you have to care for the horse. You have to hitch it. You have to brush it. You have to clean it. You have to feed it. And all of this earns you like horse XP points. And though, you know, to a gamer who doesn't play a lot of story games, they might see that as like, oh, well, I'm just upgrading my horse. I'm doing the requirements.
It's almost like in GTA, you're trying to get your sneak level to level 100. So you rubber band yourself and walk around Fort Zancudo.
You don't realize the amount of hours,
up, you know,
the
like,
brain power that it's putting, like that you're putting in to make sure you can hit the quota. You don't realize how invested that gets you emotionally until you realize it when it's all taken away. That's a common trope in life.
Especially the way you want to play the game as well. Yeah. And it all goes back to how you play. I mean, you could choose to keep the same horse from the very beginning of the game, you know? Mm-hmm. And I feel like that low-key makes it even more sad because then it's literally the horse you had since the beginning of the game, you know?
That's what happened to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I right now, because I'm on my third playthrough, and I actually kept the Shire, the horse that Hosea sells in Valentine. You can either choose to sell it or you can choose to keep it. And I kept it this time, so I'm going to keep it throughout the duration of the game. The first playthrough, I'm not going to lie, I did just try and get a really good horse. Second playthrough, I kept my original horse from the very beginning. This one, I'm going to keep the Shire and then see kind of, you know, how emotionally invested I get in that one too. But yeah, dude,
I wanted to bring up, because since we're talking about the storyline, you were mentioning like how you can literally just bring your mind back to the moment you were playing it in your living room, and it was such an era for you. I think I'm the same way in a different perspective. I have it similarly. I was also at college, and though, you know, I had friends and I could hang out with people, I think I had a different emotional opening from that game. I have played story games before Red Dead Redemption. I played the Tomb Raider games, and for me, the Tomb Raider games were really good stories. Some of them had their moments, but they were great stories.
Yeah.
It was around the era where I started playing Red Dead Redemption, because this was also similar to GTA. All the hype had finally started to burn a little bit. Nobody was talking about it like it was a brand new game anymore. And so I just decided, okay, I might as well play it. I have nothing to do on certain days, so I'll just boot it up, try it out. And I remember, like, at first it was a little slow and I wasn't really understanding the hype. I was like, it's a cowboy game. I'm in the middle of the mountains.
That first one.
But man,
you can't do a lot. You can't even leave the cabin. You can't.
Yeah.
Without dying.
I think for me, by the end of the game, when Arthur did die, what it did for me was it opened up my brain to just how truly cinematic games can be. And the reason we already kind of said that, but the reason I say it again is because around that same era was when I just kind of threw myself at all of these story games. So it was like, it was Red Dead, and then it was Spider-Man, and then it was God of War, and then it was The Last of Us, and it was like, it just all of a sudden, like, I just fell more in love with all these.
And then
like,
you were also doing stories. Life is Strange and everything as well.
Life is Strange,
you were doing, yeah.
I just fell in love with the idea that, like, games can make you just forget reality, and I loved that. I forget reality, but put yourself in a new one. And Red Dead Redemption, I don't think I've had a game that's ever done it.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever played a game that'll get me that emotionally attached, but also like, well, I mean, really just kind of what you said. I mean, it just gets you so immersed in a setting that you've never really been in, you know, personally ever in your life. But to feel like it belongs to you, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's like what makes it so cool is that everyone is playing as Arthur Morgan, but you're also playing as you. You're doing what you would do, you know? Like you would experience life the way you would want to experience life if you were ever in that
and Red Dead
era
Redemption
of time,
was the pivot, in my opinion, for that with games. Tomb Raider, though I love that trilogy, the newer one, not the old ones for fans of Tomb Raider, but that newer trilogy
there's
of games,
a lot.
there's a lot. But for that newer trilogy, I think that also came out around 2013. That trilogy in particular, I did love the games, and I fell in love with it. To the point where I was like, I'm going to play every game. I'm going to stream it every single time I play it. However, there was still a disconnect between Lara Croft and myself. And not because it's like, you know, she's a woman, I'm a man. It was just that as much as I loved raiding tombs, I couldn't like fully put myself into the danger, the aspect of like fear, because now I'm fighting these crazy monster Aztec ritualistic things, right? And it's like, oh, I better hit all the right combinations. Whereas Red Dead was like, if I don't, I have to choose if I want to kill this man or not. Like I have to think about what this will do to the group, like my family now. What will happen if I make this choice? Like who will be affected? It's also great writing how they do that when they bring in what's her name in the beginning?
Sadie.
Yeah. Sadie's a great example of how the group itself is a family because they just take people in. Oh God, we could talk about this shit for hours and I don't want to go on because we have other topics to hit, but man, storyline and writing, I have to say Red Dead takes the cake. There's no question. GTA is great. It really is a fun game. But when it comes to the story, I think there's arguments you could make about Michael being redeemed with his family by the end, depending on how you play.
Yeah.
And the choice that you have to make at the end as Franklin of if you want to fight with the boys or kill one of them. But overall, that's where the argument ends. And that kind of shows you the difference of amount we can talk about GTA's story compared to Red Dead Redemption's story. That kind of shows, you know, the seesaw of who has better writing.
Well, I think part of GTA's charm is it's always been funny. It's not like a very serious game.
Which a lot of people put down.
Which
I don't think it's
decided. No, I think it's good being a comedic game. Like, I mean, the comedy is what also makes you kind of sucked in because you're like, that was a wild thing to say.
Yeah.
But I kind of want him to say more out of pocket shit like that, you know? So
yeah.
No, it's a good. I mean, they're their own games, even though they're very different. But yeah, I mean, we do have more topics. I will say
bring
though,
in this next
we
one
did already kind of go over the emotional part.
Oh yeah, I didn't even realize
you know?
that emotional was the third one. That's funny.
So yeah, let's go to technically now the last part, which this is going to be the part where we definitely don't agree.
Where we fight because we need to talk about for both games, comparing, contrasting, judging, and relating the story mode as a game and online play as a game.
Yeah.
We've talked about the story in itself, the writing, the emotional impact, but now we have to talk about, if you put that aside for a second, now we do have to talk about it's a game.
The online factor. And
you know, how was it as an actual game, both for online multiplayer and how was it for being its own game itself in its story mode?
Well, then if we're going to go, we could probably get through the story mode part pretty easy.
Okay.
First of all, both games play almost exactly the same. Controls are the same.
I would say mechanically.
Mechanically, games are pretty much the same. But you add the comedic parts of GTA, and I think it makes the game enjoyable because of the fact that you have the comedic parts. Because, I mean, you could just be driving around in a car and you could have the radio on and then you just hear some out-of-pocket shit on the radio and you're like, what the fuck? Like, you know, like, like that was such a weird thing. But I think the comedy reliefs of the game make the story mode a lot more fun. And especially, I mean, to be biased, where we live an hour away from
like LA.
From LA.
Yeah.
And so, and especially being someone who's been to LA a monumental amount of times in my life, it really is exactly LA. Like if anyone in any other state or anyone in a different country, if you're ever like, oh man, my bucket list is to go to Los Angeles, I'm telling you right now, just play GTA 5 and dead ass, that's exactly what it is. I mean, that's the only way I know how to describe it. You are actually playing in LA. I mean, even the freeways run the same as LA freeways. Like if you look at a bird's eye view of the map and then you put LA's map over the GTA Los Santos map, there are freeways on GTA that line up exactly with the GTA map. So I'm not going to go too much into that, but if you are trying to figure out what LA is like, just play GTA 5. I mean, that's exactly...
No, I see what you're saying. There's a relatability for us for why GTA would be fun because it feels... There's a level of realism that Red Dead Redemption can pull off because of just how much effort was put into the map itself. But there's also another type of realism that GTA can accomplish by replicating the overall vibe of LA and doing it so accurately too. It's two kinds of realism. They're not quite the same, but it's...
Because a lot of people, I think, who've never been to LA or don't know anything about it, all they think about is like, oh, that's where all the famous people are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where all the TV shows that are normally on, you know, television or cable, that's what LA's like. It is... I mean, it is not outlandish. That's what's crazy. I mean, that's a crazy part about the game. I mean, you'd play the game and you'd be like, there's no way people on the streets of LA are saying some out-of-pocket shit like that. No, they are. There was actually, fun fact, there was on the news a few years ago, there was a homeless man on the streets of LA who threw a hot bucket of piss and shit on a person on the sidewalk in LA. And that's some shit that happens in GTA.
It's true.
It's true. Like, it is wild to say that the most out-of-pocket shit you would think you would see or hear on a video game is quite literally just exactly what it is. That is like it is not that outlandish. You also got the nods to Scientology. It's actually kind of like the same exact thing. I mean, just look up what Scientology, like, the belief is for, like, their, like, quote-unquote rapture. It is a giant alien spaceship taking you up and taking you off the planet. Like, and that's in GTA. So it's like, it seems very, very outlandish.
Epsilon.
But
you're talking about Epsilon?
Yeah. So there are side missions you can do for Epsilon. And that is the outcome.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just the level of realism, but the level of comedic realism that's in the game makes it that much more enjoyable, especially for people who live in LA or by LA.
You could
you
still
know?
say that they try and pull off certain types of in the times comedic realism for Red Dead Redemption 2, like
Oh, for
women
sure.
trying to speak
For
out
sure.
for their own particular
Yeah.
rights to be
trying to vote
more-
and everything.
Yeah,
and,
yeah. And people
yeah.
just are like, "What's that crazy lady talking about? What kind of
Well, and like even
women
the
and
nods,
rights?"
like what's
don't
that?
have
Yeah, and
those.
they literally say that shit like in the game, like the NPCs and everything say some
Mhm.
out of pocket stuff like that. I mean,
I
you even
do-
have the nods to vampires being in the French Quarter of like New Orleans and everything, because Saint Denis is based on New Orleans.
Yeah.
But it's been like a known, like not a known fact, but like a known like lore thing that there are vampires in the French Quarter, and there are side missions in the French Quarter of Saint Denis where you gotta find a vampire, so they do make nods to like a real world thing. There's also ghosts in Red Dead as well, ghosts in the forest.
Red Dead has a lot of updates. They're not updates, but a lot of mysteries that are still only being
the man in the
unraveled
black suit.
now.
The man in the
I
black suit.
saw one that was
and,
like trees the other day.
Nod
where if you
to
find
Tesla.
the correct trees, they
Oh yeah,
they
that they point you.
align.
Yeah, they point you
Oh
to
my God,
something,
there's
and people
so-
still haven't figured it out, but they keep finding
but they're
more.
still searching and they keep finding new things, like new puzzle pieces.
Yeah, see, I think that's the one thing with GTA is like the game's been out enough. I don't really think there's any more secrets to
There's
find.
no secrets.
You
no.
know, there really is no secrets to find in that game. But Red Dead,
But
it's
its
still
era
so
of secrets was a prime time for the internet. Like when
Like
it was
the,
trying to figure out all the aliens or the Bigfoot
the Mount
stuff.
Chiliad mural at the very top.
it had
trying
its
to figure that
heyday
out,
of
and-
mysteries
yeah,
that people loved to solve.
yeah.
If I was
Um,
going to bring up, since we're I think we've compared. I got a contrast now that
Okay.
we need to
okay,
get out of the way. And this is my opinion. I
okay.
think one of the reasons GTA wins when it comes to its gameplay in both story and
better watch yourself.
online, story and online, is because there is a vast, much larger amount of variety in things you can do than you can in Red Dead Redemption. Please rebuttal. And I'm talking both
On
story
online,
online.
yes. I don't think you're accurate in the story mode
Okay.
part. I
Tell
think
me
there are
why.
a lot of different types of missions and everything,
Mm-hmm.
but I would rebuttal that a lot of the other side missions in Red Dead are time-based, and they only show up at certain times on the map, and if you don't find them, then that's on you. And I feel like that makes it even better, because then you have to actually actively search out certain things. And I also think the in-game world changing over time in the story mode is also something that will never be beat on the GTA level. Like seeing houses progressively get built, seeing certain things, like watching people literally cutting down trees and then going back after like many missions after, and that entire forest is cut down. You know, there's so many in-game things that happen and change that I don't think you have with GTA. There are maybe like subtle things, but
In
for
the
the actual
story
world
mode, you're saying.
changing in the story mode,
Okay.
mode. Now, online, I know we're going to differ, so let's
Yeah.
get it over with.
Yeah, let's get through this part.
I will agree with you because I know, let's be honest, I know you like GTA Online way better than Red Dead Online. I know. I disagree, but I understand. My rebuttal to that before you say anything is that Rockstar shut down the updates on Red Dead Online. Okay?
I wonder why.
Let's be fair. They shut it down because they wanted to keep making flying fucking cars and flying motorcycles and all these other fucking pointless, outlandish cars that cost billions of dollars on a game that people have had since 2013 because they've ran out of ideas. So they're like, hey, for everyone who's been playing for a long time, let's make anyone else's life way harder. And so, yeah, I can't... I know there's so many things to do. I understand. I know there's a lot of different businesses and different routes you can go. I get it. But the fact that I've been waiting, and this is a problem with GTA specifically, this doesn't even coincide with Red Dead Online.
Mm-hmm.
I've been waiting since 2013 to just buy a normal house. Still haven't fucking gotten it. There's $15 million mansions. Still can't buy a regular house and customize it the way I want.
But now I have to step in because I do think part of it is just with GTA. I think when it comes to wanting to buy the crazy expensive stuff, I think it's manageable if you start investing your time in developing more than one kind of business, if you start making money through different means. But also to go back to like, what was your point that you made? You said
there are basic things that we've been waiting for that still has never happened.
Oh, the updating, the server shutting down.
Yeah, the server
Red Dead
shut
Redemption.
Down. Yeah.
To me, in my opinion, now I'm not saying this is fact or this is what's actually going on. This is my conspiracy theory for Red Dead, is that you say that they're losing originality when they're putting out these flying cars and stuff.
Yeah.
I think you only have so much original things you can make in the timeline of Red Dead Redemption that makes sense to add to the game. I'm not saying they've added it all. They haven't by any means.
Dude, there's so
still
many things
a lot more that they
could realistically add.
But I think
but
you
they
run out of things
doing
in
the
5
updates.
years.
But you start running out of things with fucking GTA.
Nah, you could make
flying
new
cars
shit.
is stupid. That
You
is
could become the
such a
president.
No, you can't. You can't.
It's a valid idea you
The
could
game
do.
has been out 5 years before Red Dead Redemption,
Mhm.
and I still can't buy a fucking regular ass house and customize it the way I want.
You make this argument, but then you don't make the same argument for how often you play Red Dead Online and work to make the gold and money that
I'm
you
not
earn to buy. But I'm saying
not
you would be
saying-
the same situation
I'm not saying
in
I
Red
don't
Dead
have
if you
the-
didn't work it.
I
If
don't
you
have-
weren't playing I'm sorry, hold on. If you
I
weren't
understand.
playing
No,
Red
no,
Dead,
keep going. Yeah.
if you were playing Red Dead
Yeah.
the same amount you were playing GTA, which is not that
Yeah.
often anymore,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be pulling in the hard cash to pay for the cool stuff like
No.
wagons and shit.
No,
It would be the same thing.
I think you misunderstand me. I think you
Okay.
misunderstand what I'm
Okay,
saying.
Okay.
I'm talking about the fact that the game has been out since 2013. And you no. And you physically, I'm not talking about what I can actually do. I'm talking about what's not in the fucking game. I'm talking about why can't I just buy a fucking property and customize it the way I want with the game being out as long as it is, but yet somehow there's flying fucking cars in the game.
You
can buy a submarine, but you can't buy a normal ass house.
To be fair, the crazy expensive mansion thing that they just added does have,
But it's not fully customizable.
and there's so many things you can customize. If you buy a nightclub, or if you buy an auto shop, or if you buy this, that, and the other, you have the ability to spend money and customize it the way you would want to run it. And it's the same way with your camp in Red Dead.
No.
It's the same
Okay, no. All right, to agree with you, you are right. You can't really, there's not a lot of customization. But if they, again, wouldn't have canceled the updates to work on, Rockstar put it out. They stopped working on Red Dead because they wanted to keep putting updates out for GTA. If they wouldn't have done that, we probably could have had a ranch expansion. You could have probably I
agree.
With John, you buy a house out of a catalog, get to choose where you set it up,
customize your farm and your
and
land,
then at that point, you don't have to do just trader role missions. You could literally do cattle drives, which would add a whole other different set of mission types.
But don't you think
you can do like all that kind of stuff?
The reason that they put out updates for GTA so much that they have to shut down the servers for Red Dead is because there's more of a want for like GTA stuff than there is.
I don't want flying cars in a submarine. That, like, to me, that just doesn't, that's not appealing, like, at all. When does a drug dealer buy a fucking submarine? Like, I don't understand. Like, I just don't, like, I wouldn't even mind if they would have canceled the Red Dead updates to make more job stuff on GTA. Like, hey, you know, kind of like the arcade stuff and everything. All of that is just, you're pretty much just a drug dealer. Like, I mean, they're all fronts.
GTA.
They don't have to be fronts for
You're
everything. There could be so
Grand
much
Theft
more.
Auto,
But there could be so much more. I know, but there's so much more realistic shit.
Game.
There's so much more realistic shit that they could have put in the game besides flying cars and submarines. They could have added so much more stuff that
there
wasn't.
There is a level when it comes to gameplay that is more entertaining about.
What's entertaining about
car.
having a submarine?
I'm not talking about the submarine. You win on the submarine topic, but a flying car compared to a horse.
I don't know.
We're in disagreement.
Cars,
there.
Dude.
I want a flying car. I want to be able to say that before GTA 6 comes out, I actually managed to get my first flying car in GTA, because I never have. And I probably never will.
Like, I wish there were more practical car upgrades, like as far as like body work and everything. They could have like put all their time in that. Like, I get the supercars, yeah, for sure, because they're supercars exist. I just don't. It's gotten to a point now where I'm like, it's just not fun. Like, it's not like it's not fun. It's like the fact that every single time we play, we have to play on a private server, because if I don't, you just get murdered the entire time. Like, there is nothing to do.
I'll say it's statistically
and that
better
makes
than
the game
Red Dead,
suck.
but I do
Like,
think it happens on Red Dead too. Like,
well,
it's
it does,
statistically
but you have
better.
It does,
on Red
but you
Dead.
have more of a chance on Red Dead because you're not fighting a flying car with homing rockets on it. When you're on a motorcycle,
you win
like
that
what the
one.
like what are you supposed to do? Like, and you're not even trying to fight people. At least when your wagon gets attacked on Red Dead, you're a cowboy and an outlaw. You could choose to be an outlaw or not. GTA doesn't give you that ability because everyone just decides, I'm just going to ruin this person's day. Why not? And then they just shoot you with a homing rocket that you can't run away from because it's a homing missile. I said don't.
Yes.
Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
I'll give you that is a fair argument. I do think that there is an imbalance when it comes to GTA's online player base.
Either that or put people who are at low levels in their own servers, so you're not fighting someone who's a level like 892 that has everything. Like, I just don't understand. Like,
I think
I would want to play with more people. I don't want to keep having to go in a private server every time.
I think GTA's custom multiplayer games are better than Red Dead's. Like how you can do the car races and you can do
but you can do horse
jets
races. You can do
horse races. I'm saying for me personally, this
there's
is
more there's more variety.
There's
in
more
GTA
variety in
for
GTA
sure.
custom games.
Yeah.
But I do think I would say that on Red Dead's argument, if it was continuing, like updates and all that stuff, you would have a lot more potential for their custom games than they currently have.
Yeah, because I mean, I can't even remember the last time they updated. It's been literal like years, like years since they've put out any update. So I mean,
now
I don't know. I just if it had more, if the updates were still going, I feel like there would be way more of a chance to be neck and neck. They just aren't because people want flying cars apparently.
Well,
so,
bringing this to your original question at the very beginning of the podcast, I think for me, as much as I truly do love the story, the heart wrench, the emotional damage that I get from Arthur Morgan in the story mode, I think if I'm thinking about if I'm stuck on an island and I only get the one game to play, what game I'm going to have more fun and variety out of longer term, I would choose GTA because it's kind of like you said.
Because we get updates and you don't, bitch.
Well, it's also like you said, I'm never going to have experiencing Red Dead for the first time again.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
Story mode is never going to impact me the way it did the first time. It's definitely still an inspirational story, even on a replay.
Yeah.
But I think, I can continuously play a GTA objective and get something out of it for myself. This is just personal. Than I could Red Dead.
Yeah.
Are you? But if you're stuck, on an island.
I mean, if it was me, I'd still choose Red Dead.
So explain. Expound.
I mean, one, to me, it's just more realistic.
Just
to
like
me, I just
fuck
don't.
those flying cars.
Yeah, fuck those flying cars, dude. Honestly, you know how long? I mean, real talk. You know how long I wanted the jet at Fort Zancudo, and now there's just flying cars that do the exact same thing and fly faster. You know how much that pisses me off. Like,
and how you can have the police cars. You like that? You like being
I do.
Mr.
I do.
Policeman?
I will say, I do like. But again, at that point, if I just had a PC, then I could just do the role play and I could actually play normal jobs. So if it was on that front, then yeah, I would say GTA over Red Dead. But because I don't have that and I have to do all these whack ass jobs, like I just, yeah.
No, I get you.
But if it was console, I would say Red Dead. The story is one that I could probably play over and over again and still learn new things, still find new things, still be sad, still be happy. Like I could still hit the wave of emotional roller coaster. It wouldn't be the same as the first time playing it, but I still would have that, that heart. It's just always got to be a part of me, and I feel like you would always still find things to love. And discover. The online, it doesn't get updates, but I find just enjoyment going around, and maybe it's like a relaxing thing for me too. I'm way more relaxed when I play Red Dead than I ever am when I play GTA. GTA stresses me out. Like,
that's true.
Like,
that's fair.
And now if I'm playing on a private server, then yeah. But again, I make one wrong move and police at 1 star just shoot to kill me. Like, I also don't like that part either. Like, but Yeah, I don't know. It's just, Red
No,
Dead, man.
I get
And I
it.
think it's more scenic.
I-
It's more beautiful, so it's a lot easier to kind of
It
just.
is.
If
I
you
do
want to
think it's more
chill, you can
scenic.
just gallop around and look at the trees and shit. So
If we are talking about what is my favorite game of the two, definitely Red Dead. If I
Yeah.
was stranded on an island for the rest of my life and I could only play one game, it would still probably be GTA. But
Yeah.
it's not the better game.
at
GTA
least you know
does
you're going to
not.
be getting updates till the day you die at this point.
Yeah. Well, we don't know. We
Because
could
GTA
finally,
6 doesn't exist. So
if it never will. But if
Yeah.
it did, they would do the same thing. Eventually, the GTA 5 updates would roll out the window, and
Yeah.
people would be climbing on to GTA 6 as the new thing. But I don't know. I think both games truly are like life changing for the gaming community.
100%. Yeah.
GTA was the footwork for how truly strong games could be, and I think Red Dead truly was similar for certain graphical updates, but also I think it paved the way for how impactful games could be.
Yeah.
How much that they could sit with someone for the rest of their lives.
Because I think a company now that's not Rockstar, if they're gonna make a story-driven game, I think the first thing that any developer and like story writer for a game is going to look to is gonna be Red Dead Redemption. I just think that, and that's not even being biased. I just think in general, as a script, even as someone who is in film school, it's still such a good script. I mean, you don't even have to look at it as a video game. You just look at the writing, look at the characters, look at the character development, look at it, especially since it goes off of chapters as well. You can just see the full progression. And I think anybody who's making any sort of gameplay that's going to be story driven, it's always probably going to be probably Red Dead Redemption 2 and then probably God of War Ragnarok is probably going to be like two really strong games for
we once
for that,
we once said on the podcast, Red Dead had the title for best story game ever created. Do we still stand by that?
Yeah. I would say Ragnarok is up there. Because I really do think the story is really good, and it does have an emotional part to it, and probably The Last of Us too. I think those three stories I think are very.
They're up there for sure.
They're all emotional. They're very emotional stories, but they're also really well written, and they're all three completely different games too, as far as
God of War was PlayStation exclusive first, right?
Yeah.
It's also something to note that Sony has some, because Rockstar isn't Sony. Rockstar was able to, put out the GTA and Red Dead universe and make such incredible stories, but some of the other contenders up there that try and fight the title of best.
Spider-Man was a really good story.
Spider-Man, but that's also Sony.
Game.
That's what I'm saying, right? Because Sony is up there for the potential of great writers. If like you were saying, if new game developers are going to go the route of trying to look for a blueprint or inspiration, I would say it's got to be Sony or it's got to be Rockstar.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I think Rockstar is they're the goats, man. Honestly, they know what they're doing. Rockstar and Sony they top tier.
They got.
But I mean, Sony does have an edge because Sony also does movies, so it is a little bit easier for them to kind of come up with scripts when they are a movie-based company. But for the fact that Rockstar is just game developers, I mean, coming up with a story like that is just insane,
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's it. Well,
I think so.
Do you have any last thoughts? Do you have any? I think we've kind of covered like all of it.
That's what we wanted to hit. There's no real winner in this battle. It's whoever.
Yeah, it's all opinion based, even though your opinion's wrong. But like,
about
all
the stranded
opinion
island.
based. Yeah. But
Listen,
no, I get it. I do get it. I understand. I guess you get a free pass. You get a free pass on this one. It won't be so easy at another point in time, but you get a free pass.
well, folks, that's probably going to do it for today. I hope you enjoyed this fun debacle into the world of games and how we always mentioned we were going to do like a full episode about Red Dead. And so here
I think
it
this is the closest. Yeah, this is the closest you guys are going to get. But yeah, I hope you guys like this episode, and
let us know what
you
guys think.
Oh yeah,
Like,
definitely.
what of the two games and your opinions.
Which
on
one's your
better
favorite?
or worse, or favorite?
What's some of your favorite scenes or parts in either of the games? And definitely don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us on pretty much everything on this platform. I gotta look it up because we don't have it on the screen, but you guys can always follow us on Instagram and X at Woodsmen Pod, not the Woodsman Pod, Woodsman Pod. And don't forget to also check out our production company as well. You can find all the updates on this show and any future shows or any other projects that we're doing at Cabin 13 Productions. It's 13, not spelled out 13 on Instagram. You guys can also email us at thewoodsmanpod@gmail.com. And you can also email us as well for any inquiries at Cabin 13 Productions@gmail.com as well. Don't forget to follow our socials as well. Pie Master J underscores, right? Underscores. Pie underscore.
Depends
master
on the
underscore.
on the account.
You guys will find it. Joey has a very distinct face, and
It's on the end
he's
card.
pretty cute. So yeah.
If you can't see it, if you're not a visual listener, then what are you doing? What are you doing? Come over to
YouTube's
the
free,
YouTube
guys.
channel.
YouTube's free. You might as well just go
Come
on,
say
check it
hi.
out, Especially for this one, so you can see Joey's fuck-ass keyboard thing on his on his PS5 controller.
Or how you can see how fucking pissed your dog is looking at you right now in the background. He looks so angry.
He looks
In the
tired,
shot, dude.
like me. He looks tired and he looks very hot, like it is in this
Huey,
garage.
no.
Well, it's been a great episode, man. Love you, dog.
You too, brother.
And we're your hosts, Brent Murphy.
And Joey Rooker. Later, Gators.
6-7.
The Woodsman Podcast is actively reading and responding to anything and everything on Instagram and our email.
If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about the show, or would like to possibly be on the show, you can email us at thewoodsmanpod@gmail.com.
Make sure to keep up with all things Woodsman related on Instagram and X at WoodsmanPod.
Don't forget to rate, like, and subscribe to the Woodsman Podcast wherever you get your podcasts, with video exclusively on YouTube and Patreon.
Make sure to follow our personal accounts at Strange Kids and Pie Master J on all platforms. The Woodsman Podcast is co-produced by Brent Murphy and Joey Rucker. Written by Brent Murphy, video editing by Joey Rucker, and blood, sweat, and tears by all of us.
Any additional content by the Woodsman Podcast may not be used without our permission. Copyright Cabin 13 Productions.
And remember, good girl.